Here is the English translation of your text. Dash dash dash. Welcome to Secret Love Channel. Dear viewers, after passionate moments of intimacy, do you think men will want to cuddle and whisper sweet words into your ear? If so, you might be surprised. In reality, what they truly desire after lovemaking is quite different, perhaps even the opposite of what women imagine. What is it that men crave most at that moment? Is it closeness, or something else that brings them greater satisfaction? Let's uncover the hidden truth behind men's reactions after intimacy. You'll be surprised. 1. The feeling of being appreciated. Even though they may not say it, men want to be recognized for their masculinity and prowess in bed. A simple compliment like, "You were amazing," or a warm hug can boost their confidence. On the other hand, if a woman appears indifferent or reacts negatively, it can affect their self-esteem. 2. Time to relax and unwind. A man's natural physiological response after climax often includes drowsiness or the need to relax. This doesn't mean he doesn't care about you, it's just his body's way of responding. So, if he stays still, closes his eyes, or even falls asleep right after, it's completely normal. 3. No interruptions or excessive questioning. Many women like to talk or ask questions after intimacy. But for men, this is a time when they prefer silence. They may not want to immediately discuss serious topics or express their emotions. If he remains quiet, it doesn't mean he doesn't care, it simply means he is enjoying his moment of relaxation. 4. Simple, unforced intimacy. Men don't always want cuddling or long conversations after sex. They prefer natural closeness, such as letting you rest your head on their arm or watching a movie together without talking too much. For them, comfort and not feeling pressured to express emotions are key. True intimacy doesn't always require words or grand gestures. Sometimes, just being at ease with each other is enough. 5. A little personal space. After intimacy, some men like to have a moment alone, to browse their phone, watch TV, or even take a shower by themselves. This doesn't mean they don't love you, it's simply their way of letting their body and mind return to a normal state. Respecting each other's space helps strengthen the relationship and makes it more comfortable. 6. A snack or an energy boost. Many men feel hungry after sex because their bodies burn a lot of energy. Some may want a light snack, a drink, or just a short rest before moving on with their day. If you surprise him with a glass of water or a small treat, it can be a simple but meaningful gesture that makes him feel cared for. If you've read this far, leave a comment. I always want to be happy. Your support will motivate us to create more meaningful videos. If you haven't liked the video yet, give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed, please do so. Your support means the world to us. Thank you so much. 7. Not feeling distant or ignored. Even though men enjoy personal space after intimacy, what they don't want is to feel neglected. If a woman immediately pulls away or acts distant, they may feel disappointed. On the other hand, just a gentle touch, a smile, or a simple word can reassure them and make them feel satisfied. Small but sincere gestures are the key to strengthening emotional bonds. Each man has his own desires after intimacy, but the common thread is that they all have unique needs that women may not always recognize. Understanding this can help you avoid unnecessary misunderstandings and make your relationship stronger and deeper. After all, love is not just about passionate moments, it's also about understanding and fulfilling your partner's unspoken desires. So, have you ever noticed the subtle signals he gives after intimacy? Signs that men notice when a woman is cheating. Men have sharper instincts than you think when it comes to detecting changes in a relationship. Many people assume that men are oblivious. But in reality, the opposite is true. Even the smallest changes in habits, behavior, or communication can alert them to something unusual. This awareness doesn't come just from intuition but from experience and observation built up over time. So, what are the telltale signs that a woman might be cheating? Let's find out. 1. She suddenly looks more beautiful. Marriage often comes with the burdens of financial responsibilities and childcare, causing both husband and wife to gradually neglect their appearance. For women, 24 hours a day never seems enough when juggling the roles of a wife and mother. But one day, your wife suddenly changes. She cuts and dyes her hair, buys new clothes, puts on makeup before going out, diligently exercises or gets a gym membership, diets to lose weight, and applies skincare masks before bed. It could be that she wants to rekindle the romance in your marriage and impress you. However, as an observant husband, you cannot ignore the possibility that she is changing her appearance to start a new relationship. 2. Your wife takes more care of her appearance. Married life is busy, and wives often don't have time to focus on their looks. However, if one day your wife suddenly starts dressing up and wearing makeup before going out for no apparent reason, it might be worth noting. If she is working out and losing weight, it could mean she wants to reignite the spark in your marriage. But it could also mean she has someone else in mind. Changes in appearance are not always a bad sign. But if they come with emotional distance, you should pay attention. The most important thing in marriage is understanding and communication. Once trust wavers, the relationship becomes fragile. 3. Your wife travels for work more often and comes home late. If your wife previously had a stable routine but suddenly starts coming home late or traveling for work more frequently, it might not be a big deal at first. But if the frequency increases, you should take note. Who is she traveling with? And what exactly is she doing? This could be one of the signs that she is involved with someone else. Sudden changes in routine can be a red flag. If you feel uneasy, have an open conversation to understand the situation rather than letting doubt erode your relationship. 4. She frequently uses social media to chat with someone. For women who are dedicated to their work and family, social media is often not a priority. They value real-life relationships over virtual connections. However, for those feeling lonely or emotionally unfulfilled, social media can become a refuge. She may start using platforms like Facebook, Zalo, BeeTalk, etc. to make new friends and chat. If she finds someone who understands and listens to her, she might develop feelings and make mistakes. Perhaps you've been too busy with work, neglecting dates, shopping trips, or spa visits with her, leading her to seek emotional fulfillment online. If your wife spends excessive time on social media, take the initiative to engage with her more. Sometimes, emotional distance doesn't stem from a third party but from gaps within the marriage itself. 5. Secretive text messages. Married women usually text less frequently than before, mostly due to work. However, if she clings to her phone, texting continuously while hiding the recipient from you, appearing satisfied yet occasionally moody for no reason, she may be emotionally involved with someone. A sudden change in how she uses her phone can be a warning sign. If you have doubts, a sincere conversation is better than allowing misunderstandings to damage your relationship. 6. She often justifies herself without being asked. Confessing before being questioned is a common sign of a guilty conscience. A woman who is unfaithful might frequently justify her actions and emotions even when no one is accusing her. The guilt weighs on her, pushing her to provide explanations preemptively to avoid suspicion. 7. She avoids intimacy. Men and women differ in their approach to intimacy. Many men can engage in physical relationships without emotional attachment. But most women only do so when they have feelings. If she consistently refuses intimacy with excuses like being tired, she may already be emotionally invested in someone else. When a woman changes, no matter how subtle, an attentive husband will notice. Not all men immediately confront the issue, but deep down, they will sense something is wrong. Betrayal doesn't just break hearts, it shatters trust, which is the foundation of any relationship. Once trust is damaged, it's incredibly difficult to restore. If you value your relationship, honesty and clarity are crucial before things spiral out of control. In any relationship, men may not always express emotions openly, but that doesn't mean they are oblivious to changes in their partner. Emotional sensitivity allows them to detect even the smallest irregularities. A woman who truly values her relationship will understand that honesty is always the best way to sustain a lasting love. Every change leaves traces, and once trust is shaken, returning to how things were before becomes nearly impossible. A confession from Mary. Despite our son being 5 years old and my repeated requests to buy a house, my husband remained indifferent, fueling my growing frustration. I never imagined that behind his hesitation lay a shocking secret. Marriage is often seen as a warm sanctuary where two people build dreams and hopes together. But for me, marriage was filled with unexpected challenges and mysteries. After years of being single, I met my husband through matchmaking. He worked in the IT field and, though not particularly handsome, had a reliable and responsible nature. What touched my heart the most was his deep devotion to his parents. Our relationship progressed naturally, and we eventually decided to get married. Coming from modest backgrounds, we chose to live with his mother instead of buying a new house. I believed that as long as we stood together, we could find happiness anywhere. But I was wrong. After marriage, we both worked hard to build our family. Even during pregnancy, despite my health struggles, I continued working to ease our financial burden. My husband earned around 80 million Vietnamese dongs per month, so I thought it was only a matter of time before we bought a home. But I was naive. After our child was born, my mother-in-law helped care for him, allowing us to save a considerable amount. My dream was simple: to have a house of our own, a real home for the three of us. I repeatedly brought up the idea of buying a house, but my husband always had excuses. A strange feeling crept into my heart, as if he was hiding something from me. Over time, our home became even more cramped when my sister-in-law, pregnant, moved back in. The already limited space now echoed with the baby's cries, arguments, and her occasional tantrums. These frustrations made me long for a home of our own even more. But even as our son turned 5 and I repeatedly urged my husband to buy a house, he remained indifferent, as if he had no intention of ever doing so. Anxiety began to consume me. Then one night, I accidentally saw a screenshot of a bank transfer, 300 million Vietnamese dongs sent from my husband's account. A moment later, the image was deleted. My heart sank. Why would he transfer such a large sum without telling me? The suspicious transaction heightened my concerns, and I decided to confront him. After several confrontations, he finally confessed. My brother-in-law has gambling debts. To help my sister's family, I used our savings to pay off his debt. His admission hit me like a lightning bolt. The man I trusted had secretly used our hard-earned savings for something I had never agreed to. Learning the truth, I felt like I was drowning. The dream of buying our own home, something I had held onto for years, was shattered in an instant. The months of careful saving, the plans for our future home, all dissolved into nothing. Like bubbles bursting in the air. 1. Why won't your husband buy a house even though he can afford it? There could be several reasons why your husband doesn't want to buy a house. He doesn't see owning a house as a priority. Some men feel that as long as the family has a place to live, there's no need to change. Especially if they are comfortable or have sentimental ties to their current living situation. He might be dealing with financial pressures you're unaware of, such as supporting his family, investments, or undisclosed expenses. Family influence. If his mother and sister are used to living together, he might feel conflicted about moving out. You need to have an open and honest conversation with your husband to understand the real reason. If it's simply that he doesn't see the need, express your desires and feelings so he understands how important this is for you and your children. 2. Is it wrong for a husband to use savings to help his sister without consulting his wife? Yes. In marriage, joint finances should be a shared responsibility. When your husband takes a large amount of money from your savings to help his sister without discussing it with you, it shows a lack of respect and responsibility toward you and your children. This is not just about money, it's about trust and transparency in a relationship. From his perspective, he might feel responsible for his sister and not want her to struggle financially. However, if he truly values his own family, he should discuss such important financial decisions with you instead of making them alone. 3. What should the wife do in this situation? If you are in this situation, consider the following steps. Express your feelings clearly, instead of just blaming him. Make him understand that his actions made you feel hurt and disregarded because he didn't discuss it with you first. Set financial rules. Both of you should agree that from now on, any significant expenses must be approved by both partners. Review your financial situation. Check how much of your savings remain, how they might be affected, and whether his brother-in-law will continue to be a financial burden. If there is still debt, make it clear that this must be the last time he helps. Create a clear plan to buy a house, if buying a house is important to you. Work with your husband to develop a concrete plan. How much to save each month, when to buy, and what kind of house to choose. This will help both of you work toward a common goal. 4. Should you still trust your husband after this? This depends on how he behaves after the incident. If he acknowledges his mistake, actively makes changes, and prioritizes your immediate family, you may consider giving him another chance. However, if he continues to hide financial decisions and prioritize his birth family over his wife and children, you need to seriously reconsider your place in this marriage. This situation is a strong reminder that marriage is not just about love. It requires cooperation and mutual respect. Especially in financial matters. If a couple lacks transparency and shared goals, cracks will inevitably appear in the relationship. The wife in this story must communicate openly, establish clear financial boundaries, and reassess where she stands in her husband's priorities. If you were in this situation, would you forgive your husband and continue building a future together? Or would you set clear conditions to protect yourself and your children? If you found this video helpful, please share it so more people can benefit. Subscribe to the channel, like, and leave a comment below if you have any questions or thoughts. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.